Right, everybody. Well, there's one thing I just thought about. I didn't realise. I've not really given any thought to my subscribers in a way, kinda, because to me, subscriptions don't really matter. But then I thought, well, how about I get some of them on? Some of my subscribers. So if you want to come on, have a chat. If you want to question me, you can. I'll try my best to answer your questions and stuff. I just thought it would be about time to interact with my subscribers because I get people listening. Yes, I get people not really saying much. I mean, I had loads of videos before. I had over 100 and odd videos, but I deleted them because of the digital thing that we've got coming in the UK. The where you can't, you have to prove everything. So we've got all that coming in and stuff. So I thought, hang on, time's up now. Give it what towards the end of the year, and it'd be gone. So I thought, right, the stuff I've been saying about all religions, all governments, all corporations, I thought, yeah, I've been exposing too much. So maybe I'm better off just deleting them and starting again and coming from a Christian point of view instead. You know what I mean? Instead of this conspiracy stuff, it's just to give you a Christian point of view on the fact that what's going on in the world. Because it's all a deception. It all is. Seriously. It's all a deception. Right? Just let me roll a cigarette. Right, give me a sec. Just want to roll a cigarette, right? Right, I'm gonna give a shout out to D-Man80 because he's the only one that had the balls to ever message me. He's the only one. He's the only one that talks. He's the only one that talks. It's like, what the heck? I've got 48 subscribers. I know it's not much. And I appreciate 48 subscribers, but I'm not going to beg for other subscribers. I never do that. But, you know what I mean? He's the only one, really, out of the 48. There was another one, I think, as I can remember. But yeah, D-Man's the only one that actually, comments and stuff. You know what I mean? It's weird. You got 48 subscribers, but yet only one comments. It's mental. It makes me laugh. Anyway, just let me get some filters for 1 minute. Yeah. Hey. I was thinking, how worse can it get? He's probably listening to my other video, one from before. I don't think he expects me to come back on. That's who it was, D-Man, anyway. But he's the only one that puts a like as well, which I appreciate. I appreciate, D-Man. You're more awake than other people. I'll say that now. You're more awake because you understand. Well, I hope you understand what I'm saying. And I'm going to say this now, by the way, not to you, D-Man, just to people out there, right? Guess what? I'll never, ever create a church. Never. Never create a church, because Jesus is our church. Jesus is our church, right? When he's talking about a church on the earth, how many churches are on the earth? Well, how many can he be backing up that covers up paedophilia? Well, Jesus wouldn't ever do that. Jesus wouldn't ever do that. He'd never back up a religion that covers up pederasty. I'll tell you that now. I'll tell you that now. Because he left a scripture for us to actually determine that. If anyone stumbles, one of these little children, might as well put a millstone around their neck and throw themselves into the sea, in the depth, in the sea. Now, what stumbles a child more? What stumbles a child from God? We're born naturally from a woman and a father, right? What stumbles a child more than anything else in this world? That the crimes that are put on children, the children blame God because of it. Well, hang on. How can it be God's fault when the person who abused you or did what they did had free will? That's why God doesn't interfere. Therefore, he can't be blamed. He can't be blamed because it was free will of the person, not him. Right? That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of free will. And Satan has to abide by that law too. He has to abide by that law too, because God created that law in the first place. Right? God created that thing in the first place, free will. So how can Satan get around free will if God created free will by inducing a soul that's been given free will and put it in a body, right? Think about it. He can't. He can't. He has to persuade the free will. He has to persuade or induce something or force something where you go against your free will because you've been wronged or this, that, and the other. You see how it goes? You see how Satan's manipulative, how he thinks? Now, I'm not saying that I've had to think like Satan to get in the mind of what Satan would think like, right? It's easy. God has one standard, Satan has the other, right? Evil, good, good, evil. You see what I'm saying? Right? When you look, before the flood, there were no Bible, no Quran, not even the Sumerian tablets, right? Not even the Sumerian tablets. So how did God come to the conclusion that these people were bad? How? Because every thought and desire on their minds were corrupt all the time. That's why there were no Bible, no Quran, nothing, right? See what I mean? One person comes in and they go straight back out. Bye bye. See, God separates the wheat from the chaff, the weeds, gets rid of the weeds for me because they go in, back out, right? Because as soon as I said that before her, boom, gone. Yeah, good, 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 good. I don't like people who pretend, go around the skirts around things. Never gets direct like God does direct. Satan likes to go around in circles, around the perimeter, right? Circling like a wolf, like a lion, right? Circling and circling, right? God's direct. Look, God would never lie to you. He's not a mere man, immortal man, not mere an imperfect man, right? God is not like that, right? He doesn't tell lies like my mortal man, right? He's not one to tell lies. But guess what? Satan's not a mortal man either, but he lies because he's corrupt, right? Look, when somebody comes from a different realm, who is supposed to be higher than us, by the way, right? In a way, we're still, hey, humans are still God's crown creation. Crown. Why would God say that? That humans were his crown, like the cherry on the top. Crown creation. Now, to be a crown, you have to be put on top of a head. In other words, the finishing touch, to show the majesty of God's sublime creation, right? And he put it on his head, Adam, right? Crown creation, and put it on his head. This is my pinnacle of my creation, humans. Everything else comes underneath, including Satan. Including Satan. We, as originally, if we were perfect, we're not, but if we were perfect back then, we would have been classed as God's crown creation. That's not a light thing to give, his creation. That's something not light at all. It's something heavy, dramatic, bang on, right? Bang on. We ain't messing around. God never lies. God never lies. But what Satan did is, hang on, I came before these people, and these people are your crown creation. These people are your crown creation, and I'm not. And we came before them. Well, did you hear Jesus say that? No. You didn't hear Jesus say that? No. All glory goes to God, right? All glory goes to God because that's where it all originates from. Everything originates from God. Creation, magnetism, quantum physics, surgery. Now you're thinking, well, what? Surgery? How does that relate to God? Well, did not God open Adam's side and pull out a rib and close it back open and it rolled perfect, right? Again. And then created Eve. Well, is that not a surgeon? And being like a doctor? Even God is a comedian. He can laugh. Why do you think he gives us a sense of humor? Where do you think it comes from? We're made in his image. We have a sense of humor. Now, God can laugh at certain things, but when it comes to really serious stuff like blasphemy and like sin against the spirit, no, he don't laugh then. He takes it well serious. But he can laugh with you. He can. He sees a situation and you're laughing yourself. He's laughing with you because he knows that you're laughing because you find it funny. And he's thinking, well, yeah, that is funny actually. You know what I mean? Because this imperfect person that I allowed to be, even though he's imperfect, finds it funny. He's got a sense of humor because I made him in my image. That's what God means. And God says, right? We're made in his image, right? Personality, characteristics, this, that, and the other. I mean, what I mean by characteristics, I mean by being having kind of like, wait on, let me just think about it. Wait on, characteristics. Like having morals, principles, and ethics. Them are characteristics, really, when you think about it. Because a characteristic sticks with you. It's a part of your character, right? So if you're a person who doesn't tolerate pederasty, you know what I mean, i.e. pedophilia, that's a characteristic because you stand up for what's right, not for what's wrong. That's a characteristic, and you'll always do it because it's in your soul. It's in your soul. You say, no, man, God would never stand for this. Why would I? You know what I mean? It's a characteristic that God puts in you, right? in everybody, it all depends what you do when you get it. You know, do you ignore it and shove it away, which is like slapping away the Holy Spirit in a way, because you're rejecting your characteristic that God give you, if you know what I'm saying. You're rejecting the love and you're rejecting your conscience being open, your conscience being seared with war and this, that, and the other, and eventually you don't have no feelings. Now, I'll give you an example of that. With your conscience being seared. I'll give you an example. Now, my granddad was in the Second World War, not first, second. He was on the beach, the first wave, and apparently they got pushed back or something. They got pushed back the first time, and all the boats came over from England, picked them up, and brought them back. Right? He was in that first lot, right? He said he was in one of the trenches somewhere. He told my dad this, right? And apparently, a mortar came over, hit inside one of the bunkers where they were, and apparently his friend, he thought he was asleep, right? This is why it's over 18, so I'm going to give you a warning now, right? If you don't want to hear it, leave. This is the warning now, right? So leave now if you don't want to hear this. So the mortar went in, and apparently a bit of shrapnel or something went up his friend's. This is not my granddad, his friend, right? And it went up underneath his helmet. And I don't know how that happened. Maybe we lied on his side, and when it went off, it went like sideways and up in it because he was like down. Maybe I don't know. But all he said was that his helmet fell off and his skull had shattered, but his brain was intact, but with like obviously a bit of a hole in his brain, like where the shrapnel went through. Now that's traumatic. That's traumatic. If I'd have been like, why am I here? Why am I fighting for these sinful people? Why am I here fighting for these people? I wouldn't do it. I'd never go to war. Never. Not for no religion, not for no government, not for no cooperation. Because morally, ethically, right? Morally, ethically, and principally, it's wrong. It's wrong. Why would I kill somebody else that were born naturally? Right? Why would I do that? No matter if it's Muslim, Jew, or Christian, why would I do that? God gives life. Why take it away? Because of evil man being induced by Satan, influenced by Satan, to take as many people as he can. Hey, I mean, he's in a winning-losing battle. He's in a winning situation at the moment. At the moment, but it's a losing battle because he doesn't realize all them people he's killed in the past are all going to get a resurrection. So his war is defeated before he's even started really even realizing, but yet he's carrying on out of pride. See, pride. That's Satan's ultimate armor, pride. And guess where pride has gone now? The word pride's not a good word. And yet the lefties wear it like a badge. Pride, right? It's not a good thing. Not in God's eyes. Because Satan had pride. And guess what? He ended up falling because of it. Right? And you lefties and whoever follows Satan, right? You're going to fall because of your pride. Because you took it from your father, the devil. Right? You've learnt from him. You've took it, the pride. Why can't you humble yourself? The opposite to pride is humble, right? Opposite to pride is humble. The good humble. Because if you're humble, you've got no one to rely on except God. When you've lost everything, like I have, you've got nothing but God. Who are you going to go to? You don't trust the government. You don't trust the police. You don't trust the NHS. You don't trust corporations. You don't trust religions. Who are you going to go to? Jesus and God. God knows who his people are. because they're the people that think, screw this system. Solomon were right. Solomon were right, King Solomon. It's refuge. It's rubbish. Rubbish. Baby. Remember, I just said before. Trying to get the words out of that really fast. Seriously, Solomon were right. It's refuge. It's rubbish. It doesn't lead nowhere. Don't lead nowhere because you still die at the end. Where are you gonna wait like the Egyptians? Where are you gonna take your gold with you? No. Because I bet you Pharaoh, the physical Pharaoh, the one that died, Pharaoh, I bet you he's still waiting to be released, to be resurrected by God, because he realized he were wrong. He realized they were wrong. He got deceived too. All the pharaohs got deceived. Hey. Do you know why I'm laughing? Because they don't see it. They don't see it. They don't see the fallacy. They don't see the fallacy of worshipping things that don't get them anywhere. Right? You're gonna die anyway. You're gonna die anyway, right? Everyone dies. Everyone, right? Small, great, powerful, not, whatever. Right? You're all gonna die because everyone grows old, and dies, right? 80, 90-year-old, and you die, right? If you get to that stage, what I'm saying is that people chase stuff and they're never happy. They chase money, they chase power, and it doesn't get them nowhere. Yeah, temporary enjoyment. But temporary enjoyment can end up really bad. Really bad. Instead of being like, keep yourself separate from them, because that's what Jesus tells you to do. You have to live in the world, yes, because you're a human. You can't get out of it. You're a living soul. You're walking around. You can't get out of the world until you die, right? So, what's the point? What's the point? That's the question you should be asking yourselves. What's the point? The point is, you're going to die eventually. Whatever comes, shot, run over, hit by a bus, plane crash, whatever, right? You just have to run the risk. Run the race of life, if you know what I'm saying. This is why the Apostle Paul says it, race of life. Right? Have you fought for the good faith and the race for life? The good faith, hear what I'm saying? The good faith and race of life. Because everyone's in the race of life, but yet some people are running the other way. And some people are running the other way. And they're all big roads, massive roads with lots of people running on them. But you notice a little narrow road that everyone walks past. They don't even notice it. It's covered in brush. There's a little where they think it's old. Screw that. It's old, man. These are modern roads we're running on. But yet, when you go over and you think, that looks old. I.e., Jesus, Yahweh, old, eons of time. You start going into Bible study and stuff. What you do is you unlock the door, that little narrow door, and you shut it behind you. Well, hypothetically, it's not supposed to be shut, but I'm just giving you a demonstration in your own mind for yourself, that is. You shut it behind you, and you start walking. Noise, the noise that you hear from all these preachers fades away. It fades away. And then you start to hear the real voice. And it says, don't be a part of the world, right? Be no part of the world. Yes, you have to live in it, but be no part of it. Right? Get rid of the noise. Walk your relationship with God, with you personally. You don't have to follow someone to get close to God. Seriously. Why do you think Jesus talked about walking with him? Right? Like on a beach in a way. I'm gonna put that on there on top, like on a beach, right? He didn't say a beach, obviously. I'm just gonna put that in there to give you a visual. You know what I mean? You're walking with Jesus on the beach, and there's only you and him, and he's teaching you. And you got the people on the hillside telling you all these religions. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. We're the true religion. But yet Satan's behind them going, yeah, I'm their God. I'm supposed to be the true religion because I'm Satan. Yet Jesus is saying, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. They're all false. I never knew them. I'm going to tell them to get away from me because they never stood up for what were right, and called out wrong for wrong, right? Morals, principle, ethics, right? Principles, right? These people up on the hillside, this is what he's going to hypothetically say. I'm just giving you a memory here. Like, you're walking on the beach room and you're discussing things, and you see, like the Cliffs of Dover. Think of that, Cliffs of Dover. And they're all sitting on top shouting down. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. He don't know what he's talking about. We're the true religion. We know Jesus. And Jesus looks up and goes, really? You think you know me? I don't know you. Get away from me. I never knew you. I never knew you. Who were you? You know what I mean? And you'll say, look, ignore them. You're one out of thousands. One out of thousands of people. Thousands upon thousands. Right? Not billions, not millions, just thousands, right? Just thousands. That's why I'm small and keeping it. Right? And in a way, you feel sorry for them because you're thinking, well, why are they not listening? They know what you're saying is right. You know what I mean, Jesus? They know these people on the cliffs of Dover, hypothetically speaking, as an example. You know what I mean? They know what they're saying. They know they're being corrupt. Why are they doing this? Because they hate me. And that's why they're shouting at you. Because they hate you too. For my sake. Because they don't want you listening to me. Right? Well, cliffs of Dover are made of lime, and lime can crumble. And a lot of people fall off because the waves come up too high and wash away the lime. And they fall down. Because their belief is not based on true solid foundations like you would on the beach. Right? The beach, you can still walk on the beach, but because it's Dover, you've got to be careful. You either fall off or they crumble. You don't know when it's going to happen. But with the beach, it takes hundreds of years for it to change. Right? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years for it to change. Right? You see the difference? Anyway. Right, I'm going to go now. You guys have a good one. I hope you got something from it. And may God bless you. Take care, guys.